Well, hello everybody. It has been a while. I have not had time to record or upload, so I thought it would be fun to just kind of do a mixed media type make stickers with me video and kind of give you an update on what's going on. So I have been loving making just mixed media stickers with label paper. And yes, you can add water to label paper. It's nice because the backing on your label paper kind of acts as like a repellent to keep the water from soaking all the way through. So I just have these cheap labels that I have for shipping. I got them off Amazon, I think, and I sent them through my Silhouette and made circles. I think they're 1 3/4 inches. And I am just going in with some pastel watercolors. I think those are my Arteza or Arteza, however you say it, watercolor paints. I finally purchased a tin to combine my favorite watercolors in, and I had room for about 12 more half pans, so I added some pastel watercolors in those pans. So I'm just randomly putting some paint down and then I dried it. It does curl a little bit, so I would probably suggest if you're going to do this that you either put heavy books on top of your painted papers for like a day or so or a couple hours until they flatten out. And these look like a hot mess when you first start stamping them, which is why I love them, because once you peel away the negative space, they turn out really cool and you can do a lot with them. I'll have a part 2 to this video where I show you what I'm doing with the stickers. I am doing, you'll see a little bit further on, different kinds of labels that I'm using, because not everybody has the ability to cut their own labels, and I know that. So I'm actually going to be using some office supply labels as well. So I'm just randomly stamping with whatever inks and old stamps that I have, just to make some pretty cool stickers. Those Tim Holtz stamps are one of my favorite for mixed media. I just think they're cool. So anyways, yeah, this year has not gone the way that I had expected. Not in a bad way, except for I did get the COVID in January, and it kind of knocked me down for over a month. And honestly, I still have some lingering effects of it. I have really bad lungs as it is, so luckily I think was the latest variant, so it didn't burrow deep into my lungs. But man, it was rough. I really thought in the beginning I had strep throat. My throat hurt so bad. But anyways, I made it through that. I'm still a little bit recovering. And then I've just been crazy busy with, I went back to work part-time just for some extra cash for some things I want to do. But I have something super exciting coming up. Has nothing to do with art, definitely with travel, but nothing with art. But I'll talk to you guys about that when that gets a little bit closer to being here. So yeah, I've literally have not had a lot of time for creating. I've been journaling regularly and doing some creative stuff, but for the most part, as far as like being able to film and post videos and even post on my social media, it's been tough. So you're going to see the magic here in a second while I pull away the negative parts of that sticker. And while some people might save them, I'm not going to. I don't need any extra pieces of paper laying around. And I think this is really fun just to kind of see what these stickers do. My label paper has a slit down the side to make it easy to pull the stickers off, but I end up cutting those into 2-inch by 2-inch squares. I'm not sure if what I'm going to do with the round ones quite yet. If I'm going to, well, I know what project I'm going to do with them, but I don't know if I might add them to my online store. And I honestly don't even know for my online store if I'm going to keep that active right now. I'm going to be gone for almost 5 weeks. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And here I'm just kind of picking out some colors to do some more watercolor backgrounds on some other labels. And I'm using just my Distress Oxides on my glass mat, and I am smooshing, technical term, my labels, my Office Max labels into it after I spritzed it with water. And those are return address label size, I believe. I will link the sizes below if I remember. And then I'm just adding more color where I see that the color didn't actually, there wasn't enough color on the labels. And then I'm going to let that dry. And then what am I doing here? I don't know, cleaning my mat. Sorry about that glare. And then, well, these are just, I had these, gosh, I've had these for years. These are small Avery labels. And I just kind of wanted to play with different types of watercolor. So I sprayed them down with a ton of water and sprinkled my Ken Oliver watercolor powders on it. And then kind of moved it around with a brush just to get rid of the little clumps of watercolor. I really like the way that turned out. I think I might do that on some card blanks. That was really cool when I did the purple, but then it left. You can see the big purple globs in the middle, so I had to spread it around, which meant I lost some of those blues in there. And I don't know if this is a normal reaction of these powders to have all those multiple colors in it. I mean, obviously you have to mix colors to make specific colors, but I don't know if they're supposed to like really bleed, like that purple one, how it had so much blue in it. Obviously blue and red make purple, but it just seemed like a lot of random colors in there. And then I'm just using probably a baby wipe or a paper towel to soak up some of that water because I did want them to dry fairly quick. This project literally, even though this is a 17-minute video, this project took me up through all day yesterday waiting for dry times and this morning to finish it. And I'm still not done because of part 2 I want to do. Show you what to do with these stickers. I mean, they're cool to just have stickers on hand. That label paper right there is a large sheet. I haven't finished that yet. I'll do something with that one probably in part 2. It's just like a mailing label, I guess, or a label that you could put on a box. So it's just one full sheet. The other 3 were individual stickers. And you'll see I'm going to just kind of do the same thing and stamp here randomly. I was really just playing. I didn't have a plan, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with these. I still am not 100% sure. I think I have an idea. So I'll let you know when I post my other video what is, obviously you'll see. But you can see in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the little circle stamps, the round stamps that I made that I cut into 2x2 inch squares. Part of why I did that is because like I said, I'm going to be gone and I need to put together a little bit of a travel art kit, but it has to be very small and compact. So I think I'm going to take some of those with me to be able to at least journal or take my art journal with me. I haven't decided. If you guys travel and you take travel art supplies, let me know below what you take with you so maybe you can help me figure out what I'm going to take, because I have no clue at this point. I know I'm going to take my regular journal, pens, I'm going to need that anyway, and some notebooks for what I'm going out of town for, but art-wise, I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a sketchbook in my art journal. I haven't decided, and my watercolors. Obviously, I'm going to take those because I'm really into that right now. So I am just splattering white acrylic paint, fluid acrylic on there. I probably can't really see it. I just like to splatter paint. I don't know, it gives me to me it's like a finishing touch, even though I did it before I stamped. And these stamps are old. These are the Angel Company, which was a network marketing stamp company that I was a part of a long time ago. Kind of like Stampin' Up, but they were unmounted stamps before Stampin' Up went unmounted, and their stamps were blue. So I think for the most part, the only company that ever had blue rubber was the Angel Company. And they had some really cute stuff. I'm kind of sad they went out of business, even though I'm not big on supporting network marketing. When it comes to craft supplies, all my rules go out the window. So I'm just Oh, I'm just taking random stamps. That feather is one of my favorite stamps. It's Alyssa Burke, I think. Is that how you say her name? Alyssa Burke? Yeah. One of the few times I ordered from her because her stuff sells out so quickly. I actually was able to get that feather stamp and I love it. And then I'm just kind of playing here. I really don't, there was no rhyme or reason for the face that I stamped. It was just cuz. And then I did another stamp, but I stamped it off so it would be a lighter version of that archival ink that I did the feather in. I just didn't want it as deep or rich in color. And then I'm going to pull off the negative space on this so you can kind of see what we ended up with. These are little. These are like 1 like a 1/2 inch by 1 inch, I want to say, stickers. I don't know what they're actually meant for, but they're fun little. They're great for your planner, or because I use the Hobonichi Weeks. They fit really nice in that when I'm doing my weekly layouts. And then we're going back to that big piece because it's finally done drying. You can tell by the curling. And I'm just going to randomly stamp on it. And it is going to look like a hot mess. But I promise when it's done, these look like little strips of washi tape, like mixed media washi tape. And it's super, I don't know, they're super cute. I do have a really good idea for this one. And I'm just kind of trying to find ink and colors that I want to use, because I don't ever plan out my videos and what I'm going to use. I just kind of go with the flow because that's how I create the best. I can't, if I plan it out too much, it's just too much. And then I get overwhelmed and then I end up not recording. So I think this is a Tim Holtz stamp set. Just randomly stamping with my black, I think it's Catherine Pooler black ink. I wish all of her ink colors came in this waterproof version and not just the midnight black, because this is my favorite ink pad. And I know her dye inks are nice and juicy too, but they're not waterproof, so I won't purchase them because I do way too many layers in my art to not have waterproof ink. In fact, I think I got rid of most of my ink pads that weren't waterproof. I don't think I have but maybe a handful of pigment inks for embossing, and I typically only emboss with clear or white, so I don't really need any colors for that. And then I think this is just what is it? Bow Bunny, I think is the brand that I got at Tuesday Morning, back when Tuesday Morning actually had good art supplies, which they don't really, I don't know about yours, but my Tuesday Mornings don't have a whole lot of anything anymore. Last time I went in there, I was highly disappointed because the craft section was completely shrunk down to nothing and they hardly had anything. So I'm just stamping around where I feel like I need to add something to the labels so that they're not blank and just watercolored, which would be fine. I mean, whatever you want to do. But I wanted these to really look like fun strips of washi tape. That glare on the ink pad, I apologize. My lighting, I don't have my diffusers on, and so it reflects off of everything. And then these are, who makes these stamps? I can't remember. They're really cool stamps, but I can't, any of my dye-based inks don't really work on these stamps because they're so tacky. I want to say they're photopolymer and they're really, really sticky, which is great to stick it to an acrylic block, but I have to use water-based ink pads, which are like my distress inks. Otherwise, I can't get it to actually imprint properly because the ink just kind of like sticks to the stamp and doesn't transfer quite to the paper. So that's, I don't know if I'm doing so. I've erased them, I've prepped them, I've primed them, I've tried to do anything I can to get them to take just black ink, dye ink, and it just doesn't want to. So have to figure out another use. And you can see how stained they are from my dye ink. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to buy a Misty so that I can double and triple stamp if I need to. I just can't justify that much money for that little contraption. So that's the word I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to take some stencils and some more Distress Oxides with a brush and randomly give it a little bit of texture in the background with colors. I don't know that I used that color in the beginning, but it works. It's just subtle. And then I will peel away the negative on this so you can kind of see that it's not the hot mess that it looks like as a whole. That Flourish stamp is one of my favorite stamps I own. That is a Stampin' Up, and it was a Stampin' Around wheel stamp that I took off the wheel and mounted on foam. Just so that I could have a bigger, I could control it more, I guess. And I've had that for years and years. It's funny, I used to be very particular about cleaning my stamps and hating to get ink on the wood if they were wood mounted and making sure they weren't stained. And now I'm so, I don't even care. The messier the better, I feel like. That way I don't feel like it's so precious that I don't use it. Those little boxes that I don't know if you could see the boxes that my stamps were in, they're like a Daiso. I don't have Daiso out here, but I have a little store in the valley called Cuties that sells the Japanese office supplies, and I think I paid $1 for them, and they hold rubber stamps, even wood mounts, perfect. So yeah, this is what we ended up with. I will definitely post a part 2 here, hopefully in the next couple days, with different things that you can do with these stickers other than keep them in your stash, which is honestly what I'll probably end up doing with the majority of them. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, maybe learned something. Hopefully it inspired you, and I will see you in the next video.